Welcome to Marketing Recap, the weekly roundtable that gives you an inside peek into the latest news from the world of digital marketing and what it means for your business to help you stay ahead of the curve. Co-hosted by Cynthia Johnson of Rank Lab, Blake Jamieson of BlakeJamieson.com, and BJ Smith from The Busy Marketer. Ready to join the conversation? Let's get to today's headlines. Welcome to Marketing Recap. In this episode, we're talking about Amazon's new tool that helps you host online giveaways, Twitter's acquisition of Niche, and possibly one other fun thing. If you're watching us live on the Google Plus Hangout or on YouTube, we want to hear from you. Join our live Twitter chat using the hashtag MRcap. We want your questions. We want your comments. We want to share some of this stuff as we're going along in the show tonight. So jump on in there right now, hashtag MRcap. Let me introduce tonight's roundtable. So I'm going to start with the Director of Content Marketing at Pool Supply World and the Facebook ads expert at Arch Digital Agency, Blake Jamieson. How's your week, Blake?
The week is amazing. Specifically, today was just a really, really good day.
What's going on?
Well, probably the most exciting thing is my girlfriend published her first book on Amazon, which is called Nailed It, and it's about crushing a first date, making a good impression. It's written just for dudes. Right before Valentine's Day, she drops her first book, and she got a #1 bestseller in 2 different categories on Amazon. So I'm just super pumped to kind of see that happen. I've been doing a lot of video stuff, as people that have been watching know, on Twitter. And so I finally busted out my camera at home and just doing a bunch of videos for Facebook. Got 2 knocked out today, 3 yesterday. So it's just a killer day.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's good. You guys are 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're definitely occupying the same niche for sure.
Yep. All
right, well, let's introduce our other round tabler. Unless, Blake, you got something else to add there, buddy?
No, man, that's enough for me to be excited.
All right. Well, let's welcome back from Venice Beach, California, the Director of Marketing and Social Media at Rank Lab, the Editorial Director for SocialMediaClub.org, Cynthia Johnson. Welcome back. We missed you.
Yes, it was. There's no Wi-Fi, as they said in St. Martin. But I tried. Yes, it's also been a great week for me. I was on vacation. Now I'm back, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So.
Any jet lag?
Oh yeah, it was a 15 hours of traveling back, which causes a lot of jet lag usually. But I'll be fine in the next couple of days. So.
Oh, we're glad to have you back. We missed you last week and the week before when you were sick. You know, you couldn't hang out quite as much as you wanted to, as I know you did. But you look like you're in good form and ready to go tonight.
Yes, ready to go.
All right, let's start jumping into our first stories. Actually, Blake, do you want to talk a little bit about our story options?
Yes. So we have a few different stories. A couple we're committed to talking about. Facebook, or rather Twitter, acquiring Niche, which is kind of cool. It's an influencer network. But we were kind of torn between the two topics, and we don't know which one to talk about. So maybe on Twitter you can give us a hashtag MRcap shout out about which one. So the options are talking about the Instagram updating it to make their videos loop, which kind of pleases marketers and users, I think, have mixed feelings about. And the other one is the Facebook adding a quality score rating to your Facebook ads so that you can check those quality score ratings and see which ads are being liked by the public and not. So I could definitely talk about both of those, but we're just, we don't know if we're going to have time. So if anybody wants to weigh in on Twitter, they can do that using the hashtag MRcap. Let us know.
Nice.
Is that what you're looking for, BJ?
Yes, sir. Bring it on, guys. We're ready. Let us know what story number 3 is going to be tonight. So we already know what story number 1 is going to be. Amazon has announced a new self-service tool that allows customers to host giveaways on its own website. So this is kind of an interesting. I'm sorry, I'm getting some echoes. So this is kind of an interesting new tool that Amazon's allowing. So a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, a lot of bloggers have one of the ways that they will grow their email lists, grow their followings, things like that, is to host different types of giveaways. And when I first saw this, actually Blake sent it to me a couple of days ago. I was quite excited. I was like, yeah, we need to do a marketing recap giveaway. We can pick some of our favorite books from some of our previous guests like Jeff Sheehan and some of our future guests and give those away. But how the thing works is a little bit different than, once I actually started looking at it. So what happens is you go onto Amazon and you find a product that you want to give away. Now, there are only certain products that Amazon ships that are eligible to be a part of the giveaway. And there's a little button that should be below the product, and it allows you to start that giveaway. And it's pretty simple from what I understand. I've talked to some people who have done one already. You choose your product, then you choose how you want to set up your actual, I'm trying to think of the words for it, but set up the contest. So you have a choice of first come, first serve. So if you want to give away 5 different products, the first 5 people who come and sign up are the people who get the products. Or you could say every X number of entrants gets a prize. So you could say the first 250 entrants, the first 25,000 entrants, whatever it is, you choose a number. And when that goal is set, Amazon takes over, which is the beautiful thing about this, is that Amazon is actually going to be the one that goes in there and collects the shipping information, makes sure that the product is shipped out. All you do is set it up and let it run. So from that standpoint, it's pretty good. You guys have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, tons of thoughts. Oh, Jerry almost shook Crook.
Construction zone.
Yes. So I've run promotions many times for different brands. Sometimes we're giving away, oftentimes it's physical products. And I know that one of the biggest pain points is the fulfillment and actually having to collect the shipping information and ship. That's the bottleneck or the downside, in my opinion. But the objective every single time is not just to give away merchandise, which, I've got a cost of goods sold or given, it's not just that. It's that you want to collect leads. And I think there's kind of a PR tactic behind it, getting some buzz or whatever. But really, at the end of the day, as an email or as a marketer, I want email addresses so that I can reach those people.
Yeah.
Go on.
But what I did not mention when I was opening up is the way people enter these contests is they follow you on Twitter, and that's your only option.
Right. So, I think that's the biggest problem. And being a company as big as Amazon, I feel like that I'm certain that I'm not alone in feeling that way. And I think that Amazon will get that feedback, and I believe that they will iterate and pivot and hopefully incorporate some kind of functionality that can get me email addresses for entries. And if that's not the case, I'm just not going to use them because I love a follower on Twitter. But if the person doesn't really use Twitter, they're not going to even see if I tweet them. And direct messages is garbage because everyone has the auto crap. So my only option is to tweet at them, but I can tweet at people anyways. I don't have to run a contest to do that. I can join conversation. So if I have the manpower to do that, and that's my customer acquisition strategy, then I'm there, and that's what I'm doing. I don't need Amazon. But if I want to run a contest.
One of the early uses of Facebook, everybody was saying, okay, we're going to put money into Facebook and we're going to drive traffic to Facebook. And a tool that they would use once they had those users before all the reach was killed was the giveaways. People would say, all right, and it was bad at first because people were just giving away iPads and people would sign up just to get an iPad. They may not be interested in the product, but There were some legit stuff going on in the company I worked with. We gave away a lot of outdoor products and we were selling outdoor products. So it was absolutely legit. The thing was, we got them to Facebook, and from Facebook, we had them sign up for a contest so we could get their email address and hopefully attract more people. So through the sharing and the liking and the things like that. And yeah, I agree that without that email part of it, it's not going to be that useful. And I think that the thing that bothers me the most is, I've dealt with Amazon for many years in the e-commerce business, and Amazon is not easily giving up email addresses. Even if they purchase from you on Amazon, if I'm a store selling something through Amazon, I get the shipping address and that's it. They don't give me the email address to turn around and market to them further. Amazon wants to own all of that.
So the money's in the data.
Oh,
yes.
I just want to throw in, so Ben Johnson on Twitter made a good point. He said that it's also very easy to unfollow someone on Twitter after you've entered the giveaway. So there's a lot of spam issues there, I guess, which Twitter's no stranger to.
So yeah, I would definitely welcome Ben into this conversation. I'm going back. We had a conversation over Twitter earlier today. Ben's actually run a contest. And let me kind of go through some of the things that he was talking about. So he was saying that setup was super easy. You pick your prize, you choose whether you want a winner every so. I believe the contest he ran, they were just testing it out. They ran about 10 entrants. So one winner after 10 entries, and the prize was sent out. So they associated the giveaway with whatever Twitter account you want to associate it with. When the prizes are won, the entrant puts their address and ships it right to them from Amazon. So you basically, like I said before, you're kind of out of it at that point. Yeah, he said he gave away a flash drive to one of the first 10 entrants. So it went super quick, and he said they'd possibly use it to promote things in the future. But, that's the thing about it is if you don't have okay, actually, let me back.
Is it randomized? Was it randomized?
No,
or
number 10 wins.
the person gets it.
Yeah, so
That's crap, because if you start a contest and like the 100th person to enter gets a new car,
and then
no one's gonna enter. They're gonna be like, I'm gonna just wait until other people enter and enter later.
Yeah, well, and you don't know how many people are entering and when they're entering. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at it. Ben, you could probably chime in on this. Please do. I don't know if there's a counter showing. I would think that would be kind of counterintuitive if it was.
Oh, I'm sure there could be.
Creating like massive amounts of accounts and just like, I mean, you shouldn't do that obviously, but you can,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me explain the issue I had with it. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I just think that they have some work to do to really have mass appeal for this thing. But okay, so when we were talking about it, we thought that it would be great to do a giveaway, which by the way, we may still do one, but it's not going to be through Amazon. So we take 3 books that we want people to have. Well, the problem is you can only pick one product. We could do 3 different products, but they have to be 3 different giveaways. And we would probably want to run it throughout the month. So there's no randomized drawing in the end. So we can't say that, it ends on this date. And when it ends, we pick a random winner out of all the people who have entered. So 1, we can't pick one product. 2, we'd have to pick, and it could end in a day. It could end in, a month. We don't know. We don't know when it's going to end. So we can't keep advertising it throughout the month. The other thing is we have 3 different Twitter accounts. Who do we follow? Who do we have them follow it? And again, the last thing is there's no email. So I don't think for a lot of folks, I don't think it's going to work.
I think also we need to realize that people, companies pay a lot of money to lawyers to write up these terms of service agreements, right? That no one ever reads. It's like, for instance, we used to run campaigns, and it was like we had an issue. I used to work for Stickam, the live stream site, where 4 people in the same family won 4 weeks in a row. This contest, they figured out how to win. So we had to start putting in a clause that said people from the same family can't win, and this is why. And everything has to be backed by, the legal document, but how many mistakes and how many times does something have to happen before Amazon goes in and corrects whatever it is going on? So, I mean, it'll just be trial and error as to what those issues are, but there's no way that they won't come up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the products are very limited. They're limited to size and expense and things like that too, because, some of the stuff that we used to sell, the company I was with used to sell, were quite large and quite heavy. And when it came down to shipping to Hawaii and things like that, sometimes the shipping would be more expensive than the product itself. And that's some of the stuff that Amazon's trying to limit in their service. I mean, they want you buying small stuff like books and things like that are easy to ship out quickly.
Yeah, I think it's kind
I met once a couple years ago these two women. They're two moms out of Texas who were doing over $1 million a year in revenue selling baby clothes on Facebook. And what they would do is they would post an outfit and say, they've randomized what number it was, post your email address in the comments, and then someone wins, and then that person wins, and they share a picture, and they were just killing it. And I think for people who don't have that reference, or that they don't realize they can do it somewhere else, Amazon's definitely going to do really well here, but we can do it somewhere else. So
okay. Hey,
hold on, let's run with that for a second, because if this is the kind of for the everyday person that doesn't know that they should be collecting email addresses, they decide to run one. They don't collect email addresses, and Amazon's pretty widespread, so this whole thing, takes over Middle America or whatever. Just a bunch of people start doing it, then people like you, us three, and people who listen to this podcast that know to collect email addresses are doing that and doing their email marketing thing. Technically, we're going to be more successful because people aren't going to have ad blindness to emails. So it's helping us.
Yeah.
As long as we don't use it.
I like where you're at.
I have one correction to make. Ben is saying that if you do have one winner out of 10 entrants, it's a random which one of those 10 wins. So that is random. So it could be the first or the second person who enters to actually win.
I need to go back and read the terms of service, because there's no way that that's not going to cause issues. I mean, with all of the types of giveaways we can do and all the people who are going to be participating in this, whatever the issue is, it's going to take forever for them to fix. Like, that's a fact. They're going to wait till 100 people or 10,000 people or whatever it is has this issue where it's randomized, but someone built up an army of Twitter accounts and just robbed you, basically. And I'm not saying this like, because I think people are bad or it's good. No, people do this already. Like, it happens all the time. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Twitter is changing or fixing their spam issues, but don't kick me off. I'm not saying that. I love Twitter.
Also, verify me, please. Also,
you can verify me.
Yes. Blue check mark, please. We'll take one of those for each of us.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to, while we're in here, talking about the blue check mark in Twitter, I want to remind everybody who's watching us live right now that we do have a live Twitter chat going on. Jump in the conversation. If you hear us talking about other people, that's because we're reading what they're talking about in the Twitter chat live as we broadcast. So yeah, come hang out. It's hashtag MRcap, like Mr. Cap. So come join us for the show. You guys, do you guys have any more Amazon in you to talk about?
I think we put a nail in that one.
I was so excited when you sent that email to me, Blake, and I really wanted to like this thing because honestly, running contests is not easy, and there are so many different services out there that can run a contest for you. And like Cynthia said, with the terms of services and all that thing, certain states have different rules, certain countries have different rules. It's not an easy thing to do. So if a company like Amazon is willing to, kind of swoop in and say, hey, we'll take over, all you have to do is tell us what you want to give away. So I was kind of looking forward to it. So when I really dug deep into it, it's kind of a disappointment.
I apologize because that was one of those things that I sent before I read the whole article. I just read the title.
Oh no, actually,
It's true. So
no,
I was disappointed as well.
yeah. Well, you read it right, and when I read the article, it was pretty good. But it was actually when I went to Amazon and I started researching in Amazon that. But I mean, I think that's something that people need to know about because there's a lot of folks out there who want to run these contests. You know, we want to run a contest. By the way, go leave us an iTunes rating, and we might we might make that part of a contest. Send a screenshot to me.
I like that.
And probably tomorrow we'll be on Stitcher. So yeah, Stitcher ratings are
We're not Amazon. We're Mavericks. Right? You could win something amazing.
See, I made that vague purposely. You could win something.
Yeah.
I'll when I figure out terms of service, and we'll announce it officially. We're gonna do something, but I'm
gonna go read that. It might take me 20 days to get through it, but I'm playing.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's move on to our next story. So this week, Twitter acquired the startup company Niche or Niche or whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from. Blake, can you tell us a little bit about what Niche is?
Sure. So Niche is an influencer network of what I would call micro celebrities. So it's Vine celebrities, or Twitter or YouTube, or basically I mean it's just this. We're in this weird time where you don't have to get a crazy celebrity to endorse your product. The people that have the most influence sometimes are people just like you and me that are sitting in front of their computer recording themselves, and they're recording videos about how to make the perfect cupcakes or whatever it is. And these kind of people get tons of followers and build up a really loyal following that will do whatever they want. So Niche was one, to my knowledge, of the first kind of agencies, almost like a talent agency, but works a little bit differently than a traditional talent agency that just has kind of, a talent agency will send its talent out to auditions and then try to get them parts, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. This is the reverse. Brands come to the agency Niche and say, we have this product, we're trying to reach this market. We don't have the influence, or you have influence that we want. And then they can pair you or pair your brand with a ton of different micro celebrities to promote your stuff. So the funny thing about this, and the reason that Niche hits close to home, is because I was at Social Media Week back in 2012 in Los Angeles, and I went to, at that time, Vine was relatively new. I think it was 6 months old, maybe 8 months old or something, or at least popular, 8 months popular. And I didn't get on it yet, even though I was working in social media. And then I went and I saw Brittany Furlan, who is one of these micro celebrities. Brittany Furlan, I don't know how to say her name, but she was freaking hilarious. And I was like, I need to find out what this girl's doing, because she was like the top followed girl on Vine. Found her, and they were talking about how they were basically just regular, just doing their thing, and then they started getting millions and millions and millions of views, and then they got like huge brands to reach out to them, like Trident, like said, hey, we'll pay you $10,000 to do a 6-second Vine, and they're like, yeah, actually that sounds great, because we're living in my mom's house, or whatever. So that was kind of when influencer or like kind of marketing, I guess, in my opinion, came to kind of light. And so I was thinking at the thing, like, oh, somebody needs to create an agency for, like, not necessarily people with 3 million followers, but 30,000, because those people aren't getting paid by anyone. I can make this happen. And I started doing competitive research, and then I found Niche, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, they actually look like they got this locked down pretty good, so I'll just keep doing my own thing. And then today they got bought by Twitter.
So,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
I was thinking they won. They definitely didn't get enough money. They said at least 50 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, big bummer for you.
68 million.
Huh?
68.
68. Yeah, the last thing I read was at least 50.
Yeah, that's what I saw. 50.
It was that article was appended at the very bottom. They said we confirmed it was 68 or something.
Okay, we were looking at this one. But I think it's interesting because I also think that it's one of the first real times we've seen big talent agencies get involved because the original funding, part of it came from William Morris, which is a huge talent agency out in Beverly Hills and in London. So Hollywood's getting their hand in all of this social media. I mean, clearly, with tools like this, I think that we're going to see a big change in the type of people that are promoting content now as well.
All right, hard question. What does Twitter get out of this?
Oh, a good one. So I just jumped in. Sorry.
I have to. Go ahead.
So I think that there are so many people that, you know, something like Facebook or Snapchat or Vine has given this platform for these micro celebrities to build huge names for themselves and really have, not to say a Vine celebrity has more influence than the company Vine, but kind of to say exactly that. You know, they're just these people that have huge audiences, and Vine gets no part of it besides that they're getting their view count. Now, if they're taking a little bit of an agency route, they get their advertising money, which they're selling against impressions that are coming from that view count, but now they're cashing in twice because they're getting those advertising dollars, but they're also getting paid on the content creation part. Like it's a little bit monopoly-ish, but also like just super exciting to get it all in one place. I think it's awesome, and there'll still be a market outside of niche. There's always going to be an influencer market where people can kind of sell or broker their or other people's influence or money and circumvent the platform itself. But as soon as those kind of people get big enough and the platform says, actually, we want to mess with you, I think, you know, we'll bring you on board. You know, like the YouTube space in LA near you, Cynthia, in Marina Del Rey, they built this massive, took it like an old warehouse and built this place where people could shoot crazy videos and all these cool sets. And then they basically started reaching out to Los Angeles people who had more than 10,000 subscribers to their channel and started inviting them to say, hey, you can come play with our toys and we can make some content together. And then they branded it as a YouTube branded thing, and they got to roll special pre-roll, special advertising. So they were just giving people a platform to monetize their content better. And this is just Twitter doing the exact same thing.
I mean, yeah, also it's got to upset Twitter a little bit when, you know, there's rumors that Nash Greer, the most followed kid on Vine, he's getting, rumor is, $15,000 a second for promotional content. And he has an agency, so they're getting paid because they're connecting him to the content. And what's Vine got? What does Twitter have from that? Not as much as they'd like. And now they get the best of both worlds. They have popular people using the tool, and they're you know, making extra cash on it.
There you go.
So Claire mentions, good point, when managing a brand, I find locating influencers might be one of the toughest things when starting an account from zero. I totally agree with that, but I have a little bit of experience in this, and I think that the important thing is that this is where having like a personal brand really comes into having, you know, this is your own influence. And this might be you coming in as a social media expert for a company, or it could be the CEO of the company that, you know, was smart enough to have a Twitter account, and hopefully, you know, he did, or she did. And if they're really, really passionate about their idea and are already in that space, then you go after the influencer with that, saying, you know, we don't have much. We're not a brand new brand.com. We have 0 followers. This is Paul from XYZ Vineyards, and he's super passionate about wine, and you have a ton of influence about wine, and I just really think that you guys should have a conversation because you're going to share that passion. That's how you start that relationship and get that influencer on board with brandnewbrand.com.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you touched on that. I'm a big believer in building your own brand. Actually, my first piece of Entrepreneur last week was about building your own brand. I believe that, yeah, shameless plug, but I'll take it.
Bring it on.
No, I agree. Building your own brand is so important. Another thing that's really important is helping people that might not fit the mold build their own brand, like the CEOs and doctors of, you know, whoever it is. Building their own brand so that they can make the introduction or introduce the brand as a thought leader in that space.
Yeah, and also Tim and Claire had another question about any tools for that, and this just reminded me. So there's a tool called BuzzSumo, as I'm sure you're familiar with, Cynthia. So you can put in a subject, and then it'll show you sites or people that have the most social shares. So this is like the best way to find influencers. And if you don't have a huge budget, then go to page 3. Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of people out there that are not getting paid to share their passion and their ideas, and they have influence in that space, and they don't even understand that their influence is monetized. It can be monetized. So you have to find those people and then kind of trade up the ladder. Get homeboy on board. He helps you get 10,000 followers, then you get to the next one, you get to the next. It's just, yeah, don't go for Nash Greer right away unless you got 15 grand a second.
Yeah, Nash Greer is just making big money. That kid.
I'm actually trying to work with him with one other company that I'm kind of advising stuff. That's good to know. But yeah, I'll let you know if it works out. It's been a long. Yeah, it's a long-term strategy.
Have you guys? One of the things I'm hearing a lot about lately is the conflicts of interest with influencers, not actually going in and proving that they're, I don't know if the word's right, advertising, but they're not letting people know that what they're doing is paid sponsorship. So if you're going out there and creating a tweet and you've been paid to put out that tweet because you are an influencer, are you hashtagging it with sponsored or hashtagging it with ad or something like that? Have you guys run into any of that stuff where you're hearing about influencers who are being paid to because of their influence, but are having to deal with this legal stuff?
I read about a case that was about a PR company that was having all of their employees retweet client stuff, and in those personal accounts, that wasn't being
they have to use hashtag client.
Relationship wasn't declared, and they were saying in the article, you got it could be fixed if if you use hashtag client. Now to think about the legal system and how it's going to look at the facts and this and that, it is absolutely like batshit crazy for me, and sorry you got to bleep that out, to think that like we're at a time where a lawyer is going to be like, no, it said hashtag client, and we all know what that means. So I mean that whole thing is like ridiculous and funny to me, but it's a thing. There are rules, I think, about that kind of thing. I don't know how they transfer exactly to social media.
Yeah, we're diving right into the native content issue. It's the native ad issue. It's content that's created that's supposed to look like it's not an ad, and especially with Twitter, it's difficult to. You've only got 140 characters to work with. How do you talk about that and then disclose it as well?
I think they call it Black Hat Social, and it's the same as like link building, right? Like people aren't supposed to build links, and they still do it. So it's all about the framing and the way you go about the relationship. I think the only time it's going to become a legal issue is when there's a contract. At least, if there's something that says that we decided to work together. Like for instance, I don't know if you guys follow the Fat Jewish on Instagram.
Absolutely.
He's been promoting so much this other brand, and he's doing it so well. I mean, they've got tons of followers. Their account's great. I mean, I almost believe it's him, to be honest. I mean, we've never seen him share from anybody else, and he's doing it all the time. And it's clearly there's a relationship there outside of, this is my friend, I want to help him out. It's happening often enough. But who is going to argue? I mean, the niche there, and then who are you battling? Are you battling him or are you battling Instagram? So I guess the expense to find that out would have to come from a big company.
I mean, I think that the whole problem is a brand new problem, and this is me making assumptions, but I think that these kind of rules and laws are probably being kind of written on the cuff. And it's, kind of like reminds me of when pirating music or files and stuff became really popular, where it was bad. You could not do it, but it was really, really easy to do, and tons of people did it, and whatever. And then there's like kind of a few people that get handpicked and kind of cast out as examples to be like, this is why you don't do it. We will send a grandma to jail. We don't care. And then it's like, oh, I'm still going to take a chance or not. So I don't know. I think it's like that it's already such a widespread problem, if you want to call it a problem, that it's not like everyone can be punished. It's going to take a few people that are going to have to be like,
Yeah.
a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and they've already started doing it, though. They've already started going after folks.
Yeah, no, I know they have. I'm kind of, in a lot of ways, a little bit against that, because I think people are smarter than that. I think that these laws is just the big guys playing a money game. Like, I can tell that the Fat Jewish is being paid by these people. I'm sorry, by the way. But I mean, I can tell. Like, younger generation especially, I mean, they know when they're being advertised to, no matter what. It's not like, I mean, have you ever pushed a tweet that was so unlike what you would say and had, like, your community say, oh, someone's paying you, da, da, da. Like, people see it, they notice it. And when it gets into the legal battle, it's like, where do the laws apply? The internet is for everyone and everywhere. So, yes, it is happening, but I really don't think, the people who should really be going after are, well, now I guess, the Twitter who are taking percentages of this. They're not adding that information. That's a problem. But individual.
Okay, I've taken us off track enough for one day. All right. So, story number 3, the popular fan vote.
I think we got a lot for Facebook.
Yeah, I was counting them up, and I think it was actually pretty close, but Facebook was the winner. So, Blake, you win. Facebook. Go for it.
Yeah, I like them both. Okay, so essentially what it is Facebook now, I believe, like everything else in Facebook ads, it's being rolled out to certain people and then eventually to everyone when the kinks are worked out. But they're going to give you access to a quality score on your Facebook ads. And what that is an aggregated kind of sentiment from people who have seen it, whether they engage with it versus click hide post, or hide all ads from Blake Jamieson. When people do that, to your ads, which I think is really cool and kind of long overdue. There has been a kind of hidden feature for, I believe, over a year now, where if you go to their reports section and you download all of your your analytics, Facebook Insights, you download all of your post data, you can go to a tab kind of at the end of the Excel doc, and you can see negative engagements. So you can see how many people clicked hide post, or hide all posts from your page, or unliked your page altogether. And that was super helpful for me when I was building Facebook strategies for companies like Pool Supply World, who has 100,000 fans, or I worked with another company called Design by Humans, who at the time had about 350,000 fans. But in both cases, real fans. We paid for advertising. We got real people. So it wasn't uncommon for posts to get, back then, in the hundreds or thousands of engagements. But what was really interesting is to then go and look at the negative engagements, because you didn't really ever see that unless you really dug for it. But that was some of the most telling information, where, I might make a post. It seems like it just kind of does average, didn't get the most likes, didn't get the least, it's whatever. But then I go into my analytics and I see, holy crap, like this post alone made 30 people unsubscribe from my page. That content, it might look mediocre in terms of people talking about this, which was, the hot word of when people realized likes weren't that important. So to see that transferred and made more transparent and easy to find, I think is great news. Boom.
Boom. Everybody satisfied?
Yeah.
Never. Okay. Tim says, I never hide Blake Jamieson's Facebook posts. So
that's my favorite.
That at all.
Yeah.
Cynthia, do you have anything to add?
No, I agree. I agree with Blake 100%. I'm excited to see how it's used. I think it's going to bring nothing but the positive things to Facebook advertising. I think it'll help, the situation that people are having with, you know, with reach in certain areas or engagement with posts, and help them kind of narrow down their niche market. Hopefully, you know, we'll see people use it and see less ads of things that we really don't want to see. And hopefully Facebook will be right about them. So I think they have enough information to be right. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like if Facebook went the Google route, and on Google when you advertise, you have a quality score too, and if your quality score gets too low, then it's just like, sorry, your ad shut off. We're not going to bother our people that are searching for stuff. They don't want to see your crap. If Facebook was like that, I think that would clean up the newsfeed for a lot of people. And I think it'll be funny when, if there are people that have been advertising and are just determined to do it because they think that Facebook's where it's at and they don't know how, and they're just pumping money into it and not getting results and getting all pissed off and ranting about, well, Facebook's not giving me the reach that I want. And then they go on and look at their quality score and they're like, oh, everybody hates my content. It's going to be a good thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's all about good content, whether that's in a paid advertisement or not. So.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Hey, I want everybody to go and sign a petition or create a petition for Facebook and tell them that they need to allow us to upload video that is longer than 40 minutes. Because when we go over 40 minutes with marketing recap like we were doing tonight, we can't upload it unless we do some creative editing. So
we can do part 1, part 2.
There you go. Part 1, part 2.
Move on.
All right. Well, before we go, I want to ask everybody a favor. Please take a minute and leave us a review and rating in iTunes. I was kind of joking around, but kind of not before when we were talking about doing a contest.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
Contest. Promotion.
Giveaway. Incentive. But no, seriously. Wow, I'm getting serious echo from one of you guys. But seriously, I really want to encourage you guys to go give us a review, a rating, an honest review. It means the world to us, and it's going to help other people to find the show. So please, if you want to get there real quick, it's marketingrecap.com/iTunes. That'll take you right into iTunes. If you're on your web browser, on your desktop, you can click on the little blue iTunes View and iTunes buttons, and then you'll see the review section in there. It only takes a minute, and it would help us out greatly. So we would really, really appreciate those from you guys. Also want to do a little housekeeping and let you know that we send out a list of stories along with a link to the Hangout each week. So you can sign up by going to marketingrecap.com/newsletter. And or just go to marketingrecap.com, and you're sure to see our little ad in there or link at the top. So come join us there, and we're going to send you some good stuff. We don't spam. We only send out an email every now and then. So good stuff, I promise. Do you guys have anything you want to add? Everybody muted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Solid, man.
Yeah.
Oh, buy my girlfriend's book.
Yeah, so we're going to put the link.
On
All right.
Amazon.
All right, get out of here, cat. Sorry, I have a cat walking
Her
across.
name's Christy Elaine.
Yes, so we're going to put the link in the show notes. And Blake, if you have the link available, please tweet it out into the Twitter chat. But we'll put the link in the show notes, and we'll also put the link to Cynthia's entrepreneur article in there as well. And you can send that out in the Twitter chat too, Cynthia.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us tonight. Mark your calendars for next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget the hashtag MRcap. I want to give our roundtable guys, our co-hosts, a chance to say one more goodbye and let you know how you can connect with them. So we started with Blake, so let's start with Cynthia here.
Okay. If you'd like to connect with me, you can email me at cynthia@ranklab.com, or Cynthia at socialmediaclub.org. You may also get in touch with me via Twitter at Cynthia Live, or join my Twitter chat every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific using the hashtag VSMGirl.
Right. Blake, how about you?
Just gonna make it simple. Just get at me on Snapchat, Blake J Snap. Let's have some funny conversations that we can't ever tell anyone about.
Nice. I've been gaining Snapchat users since that episode.
And I love snapping at new people, especially when I don't recognize them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like on Twitter, like doing videos, except you're sending it to somebody that you don't even know. You're like, I think that's freaking awesome. Sometimes they send something back, sometimes they don't. But I met some cool people.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a request for the iTunes link again. So that's marketingrecap.com/iTunes. And I'm sending that out in the chat right now.
Oh man, Twitter's Twitter card on Amazon products looks so good. Looks good. I just tweeted that book. Maybe that's another plus for the contest. I give them points for that. It looks sharp.
Yeah, that looks great. Nice. Okay, well, thanks again to everyone who joined us on the Hangout. And for those of you who've joined us in the Twitter chat, hashtag MRcap, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, please go ahead and mark your calendars for next week. And we're looking for... sorry about that. Living with animals, right? Okay. So professional. Where was I? Mark your calendars. We'll see you next Thursday. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining Marketing Recap, the show that gives you a peek inside the world of digital marketing. Remember to join us next Thursday for the live show at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Google+, or Twitter using hashtag MRCap. And please tell your friends about the show, subscribe via iTunes or Stitcher, and view all episodes and news stories at marketingrecap.com. See you next week.